How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Light Astrology, giving you guys your weekly forecast of what the heck is going on in the universe. This is a really big week. We have a lot of things going on. This isn't a this isn't a day-by-day week. This isn't a, this isn't a week to keep moving forward and to keep, doing what you've been doing. This is a week to really challenge yourself. This is a week to really do something different. This is a week to look at things through a new perspective. We have Mercury retrograde. We have a ton of energy going on tomorrow on Monday, the 14th? Monday the 14th, we're having 3 kites, which include 2 grand trines of Earth with Mercury, Pluto, and the Moon in Taurus, as well as the grand fire trine that we've been having with Saturn, Uranus, and the Sun, and then it will be Mars. However, with all this fire and Earth energy going on, we also still have Venus in Cancer. As Venus is in Cancer, we're starting to really emotionally invest ourselves into trusting, into not only trusting ourselves, trusting our partner, or if you're in a relationship, trusting whoever you're with, trusting yourself that everything's going to be okay. And the big thing right now is trusting the universe that everything's going to be taken care of. There can be a lot going on left and right. It could be really ripping your emotions apart because you're looking at things both logically and emotionally. And as Venus transits through Cancer, it's now trining Neptune, which is bringing this kind of confusion and illusion to things, kind of like, okay, how is this looking inside of me? When Venus is in Cancer and it starts trining that Neptune and retrograde energy in Pisces, it's kind of like the more and more you look down into your emotions, the more and more you could start to get confused, you could start to get lost. It could be a little bit foggy. And the thing is, you have to be able to detach from that. You can't just keep looking and looking for an answer when it's right in front of you. You know what is going to work for you, you know it's going to be best for you, and it's time for, like this week, it's time to really use that answer. It's time to really look down inside yourself, not, don't go crazy deep. Now Mercury's in retrograde in Virgo. It's not about overanalyzing everything. This is about trusting your intuition and knowing what's right for you. And the best thing about this is that we get the opportunity to really learn how to trust. Like I just said about trusting a relationship, trusting whoever you're with, trusting yourself, trusting the universe. We have a great opportunity this week to do that as all of this energy intensifies, as the moon transits through Taurus tomorrow, all through Monday and then into Tuesday, I believe. Actually on Tuesday the moon will enter Gemini. However, as the moon goes through Taurus, this is about what can we ground ourselves with? What do we need support with? How can we have more emotional security? And so this could be a really tricky time. It could bring up a lot of insecurities, especially with all the energy going on tomorrow. Now it'll be trining Mercury retrograde and trining Pluto in Capricorn. This is about that deep transformation. This is about taking a step back, reevaluating things. This is about looking at things through a different perspective and not necessarily like that Aquarius energy of like, let's really push our boundaries. Let's see what's really out there. This is about taking a step back and looking at what's effective and what's not effective, what's working for you and what's not serving you anymore, what is damaging yourself, and you need to look at what is going to be healing yourself. What are steps and actions that you could take, not necessarily right now, but in the future once Mercury goes direct. However, right now is the time to look at what steps can I take in the future in order to produce the results that I really want to. And with all this energy going on, it's bringing a big emphasis with the grand fire trine. This is Uranus and Aries, so we're still feeling this, huge pull with ourselves of, liberation, of freedom, of independence, of wanting to create something different. Uranus is the wild card. If you watch It's Always Sunny, or if you watch The League, it's the Raffi bomb. Uranus is just there just to throw it all into your face, and you could take control with it and use it for your own personal power, or you can let it beat yourself up, or you can let it, totally disarm you. And you don't want that to happen, because Saturn right now in Sagittarius in retrograde, we're doing a lot of work as far as pushing our own interpersonal boundaries of what we're capable of understanding, what we're capable of feeling, what we're capable of experiencing. And Saturn will be going direct here on the 25th, so you don't want to be doing anything against Saturn right now, because once Saturn goes direct, that's like the payoff. That's like finally you get to clock out of the work. Sorry, my hair's getting all crazy. It's like super windy today. However, as the moon transits through Taurus through Monday and then into Tuesday, this is the time to get emotionally secure. And this is about, now that it's going to be sextiling Venus in Cancer. So this is about trusting the process, trusting yourself, really being okay with, I guess I was saying this a couple weeks ago, of being okay with not being okay and with everything else going on. This is a big empowering time. You want to do everything that you can to empower yourself. What's going to put you more out there? What's going to give you more light, more love, more abundance in your every single day life? This is a big transformational portal that we're going to on next Monday with the solar eclipse. And I'm doing a class about it as well at Enchanted Forest Reiki Center on Sunday the 20th, which is another crazy day. That's the last crazy day, is the 20th. So if you guys are in Las Vegas, please join me. I think it's at 6 p.m. or 6:30 at Enchanted Forest off South Jones. I'm going to be going really, really deep into this eclipse, what the future is going to look like after it and into the next couple of years, as well as when we experience this again in 2045. However, as the moon goes through Taurus, getting emotionally secure, feeling grounded, feeling capable, that's the energy that you're going to want to be putting in place, because as Tuesday comes into play, we're going to have the moon in Gemini. The moon in Gemini is going to be squaring, what is it going to be squaring? It's going to be squaring Mercury, and it's going to be, oh, and that's also when Venus will start trining Chiron. So as it squares Mercury and moon in Gemini, you're looking for your ideas. You're going to get some sort of a news. This is the time when this is that kind of a wild card factor. If you're kind of waiting for something to happen, that's when the moon in Gemini will come in, because as it squares Mercury retrograde, it's going to look like you don't have too many options. You're going to have to really think your way out of this. However, as the moon's in Gemini, do your best to open up to different possibilities. What are the resources that you have around you that you can use in order to support your forward vision or your goals or wherever you're wanting to move forward to? And I know, I guess I kind of like, every astrologer is totally different, but I'm always talking about your goals, about your outlook, about your future, about your vision. I truly believe that always having a main focus of an ultimate destination, even though you plan on going to point B, that's not, you may not end up there. It's about wanting to go somewhere farther. It's about wanting to go in a newer direction. And if you really, challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone, is to set a goal that's bigger than yourself, to take yourself into a whole new reality that you really want to. I really support that, and that's where I really come from with my astrology, as far as really supporting as much people as I can with what they want their future to look like, what they want their lives to look like, because with this energy, you could really use it to your advantage to really set yourself up really, really well for the future. Anyway, as the moon goes into Gemini and squares Mercury retrograde, you're going to be like, oh, this doesn't make sense. You can be very over analytical about it. That's not what the universe wants you to do. It's just about looking at what's effective, what's not effective. Is overthinking everything and analyzing and nitpicking and all that kind of stuff, is that working? Like, has being scared ever worked? Has being putting yourself down ever worked? Has beating yourself up ever worked? Has any of that stuff ever worked? And this is what this Mercury retrograde is bringing out. If it doesn't work, don't do it anymore. If it's not, don't fix what ain't broke too. So as this happens, make sure you get to that point of yourself where you're like, man, I see what's effective, I see what's not effective. It's time to start changing those things. And during this retrograde is the time to really take a look at everything that you can. You don't have to change everything immediately, because Mercury's still retrograde. You're still going to be, you'll do something different. It still might not work out. And it's not about, beating yourself up or going crazy with how many things aren't working out. It's about one step at a time. It took Edison like 250,000 tries or some crazy number like that to get the light bulb right. Like, you're not gonna get it right the first time. Well, you might, but sometimes you don't. And when you don't get it right the first time, you gotta just keep going on. And this week's about, can you keep going on? Can you keep trusting yourself? Can you keep putting yourself bigger, bolder, more brighter out there, with more love, with more abundance, with more heart, with more pleasure? Because now we have all this Leo energy with Mars and Leo. I thought it was funny that Mercury retrograde, we had all this, I think it's called Charlestown. I don't remember what the city is called, but with all the racist stuff going on there. It's like, man, it's so funny that happens during the Mercury retrograde, when all the miscommunication's off and Mars is in Leo, so everyone's wanting to fight each other. And it's so funny that a lot of the collective consciousness is bringing that up, because in fact this is a big time to where you can use that energy and use it for just as much positivity as people are using it for negativity. So this week, even though you see all these crazy things on the media, crazy things on the news, just know that the exact opposite is exactly possible. Just because everything looks like it's going to shit, whatever your beliefs are, or your your thoughts are on the political situation, on whatever situation's going on, just know that however bad it is, there's an equal amount of positive that you can create out of that energy. Now, the moon will then go into Cancer. Venus will trine Chiron. Venus will trine Chiron, and this is about that whole trust issue thing about what I've been talking about. And that's when Chiron's going to start really bringing the pain. That's when it's going to be like, okay, this is the real deal. It's kind of like getting a tattoo. Like, man, I want this heal. Like, if you, especially, I know a lot of people get tattoos for, big events that have happened in their life, to remember them by and to remember how strong they were going through it. It's kind of like getting a tattoo for that. It's like, man, I'm going through all this shit. I need a reminder of how strong I was, how capable I was, and all that kind of good stuff. And as Venus starts to trine Chiron, you'll start to get that pain of the needle, the pain of really setting all that stuff in there. However, again, this is for your healing, this is for your growth, this is for your expansion. And as the moon goes into Cancer, I believe on Thursday, oh, we didn't even talk about Wednesday. However, on Thursday, as the moon goes into Cancer, this is going to be about really emotionally involving yourself in that trust process, because not a lot's going on Thursday, not really anything. It's just the tee up into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. However, on Wednesday's another big day. Monday and Wednesdays are the two big energy days that you're going to want to focus on. I'm sorry, my hair is just driving me crazy today. Anyway, on Wednesday, we're having 4 T-squares. Basically, every single planet except for the Sun and Mars, I think. Hold on. Yeah, we have a T-square with the Moon, Venus, Uranus, Jupiter, Neptune, Mercury, Pluto, and Saturn. So everything besides the Sun and Mars. Yeah, everything besides the Sun and Mars is going to be in a T-square. There's going to be a lot of inner conflict on Wednesday, and that's the time to really break your boundaries. You know, T-squares are there for you basically to... It's got that Uranus effect to it. It's what's the best way to put it? It's kind of like when you're under so much tension and you don't have a choice to break through as to create something different or to really just bounce back. It's kind of like when it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like, you know, when magic happens out of stress, out of turmoil, out of all that kind of stuff. It's starting to get a little bit darker. I'll take off the sunglasses. However, with all these T-squares, this is all that built up energy that we've been facing for the past couple weeks, especially, you know, especially since basically May. All that energy we felt is going to be intensified and really at the breaking point on Wednesday. And so on Wednesday, just be sure to be with yourself, to make sure that you are clear and to really put the power into yourself, because the Sun and Mars are the only 2 planets that aren't being affected by this T-square. They're going to be big boosters in helping everything else out, because everything else is just going to look so crazy and so wild that you may not even know what to do. However, this is all about empowering yourself. Take action on yourself. Be with you this week. And then on Friday, Moon will be conjuncting Venus, squaring Jupiter, opposing Pluto, trining Neptune, and squaring Uranus. That's when things are going to get more and more intense. And then Saturday, the Moon will go into Leo, square Uranus. Sunday, we have Moon, Mars, North Node, and the Sun trining Saturn. Saturn will be quincunxing Venus. That's going to be interesting because as Saturn starts quincunxing Venus, you'll start to see the effects of what I was talking about with trusting Saturn, as far as going with it, pushing your inner boundaries. What are you willing to learn? What are you willing to gain? How much farther are you willing to put yourself out there? And as Venus starts to quincunx Saturn, if you really trust that process, you'll start to see the rewards of it, or the fruition of it. Hold on, let me turn the brightness up a little bit. That's a little bit bright. Oh my God, my hair is just driving me nuts today. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up for you guys, because this is driving me nuts. Basically, as Friday, Saturday, and Sunday comes, that's the last few days. We're gonna be looking at a lot as far as really trusting ourselves. As far as Friday goes, as the Moon conjuncts Venus is in Cancer, it's gonna be doing some stuff with Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter. Don't be too worried about Friday. Friday is still another build-up day. However, that's when you're going to start being faced with facts, faced with realizations, as far as emotional realizations, inner realizations, all that kind of stuff. And then Saturday, Moon goes into Leo, squares Uranus. As the Moon goes into Leo and squares Uranus at those last final degrees of Cancer, that's when it's going to be like, are you ready to empower yourself? Are you ready to do it? Are you ready to get up on the roller coaster? Are you ready to take on your life? Are you ready to put yourself out there and put yourself forward, as we've been talking about for the past, for a while now, since, the great eclipse basically has been talked about. Then on Sunday, as all this stuff starts trining Saturn, then there's going to be odd with Pluto and Neptune pointing to the Moon in Leo. It's going to be charging up that Leo energy, charging up that Moon in Leo, which is about empowering yourself, making sure that you are, it could be a little bit prideful. You can be a little bit, ego and, self-centered or really ego-based and stuff like that. However, with all this energy going on with the Leo and all of it trining Saturn, this is the time to put yourself to the test. Put yourself out there. And then on Monday, we're having the big shabam. That's when it's going down. I am hosting a class on it. I've been debating whether to do a video about it. However, I'm going to do a video about it because I need to talk about this and you guys need to hear it too, so you guys are ready. So I'll be doing that this week. I just decided that. Anyway, that's what I got for you guys. Thank you guys so much for following me, for subscribing to my YouTube, commenting, liking, sharing. I absolutely love you guys. I love doing these videos, and if you guys would like to support me, if you guys would like to send any sort of a donation to my PayPal or my Venmo, both of them are at White Light Astrology, I'd super appreciate it. Watch me grow and prosper. Let's see, if you guys would like to book a reading, feel free to shoot me an email at whitelightAstrology@gmail.com. I am still doing my 50% off special with the Leo season, so make sure you take opportunity of that. And then yeah, I'm still teaching a class of the whole great eclipse thing, more going into the real finer details of it. I won't really get into that in my video. The video will be mostly about what's really collectively going on and how to best go into it. However, with my class, I'm really going to be going into like, how can we personally involve ourselves into this? What is it going to look like for the next couple years, and how is that going to really turn out and turn into play? And then kind of talk about what it's going to look like in 2045 when we have another great American eclipse in Leo going through America again. So again, that's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much for everything you guys do, for supporting me. I absolutely love the fucking shit out of you guys. And I will, I'll be seeing you soon. Before next week. I'll be seeing you before next week. Talk about this eclipse because it's going on. So until then, I'll be sending you guys lots of light, lots of abundance, lots of love, and everything in between. So thank you.